This is Rui, and today I've got a treat for you. As many of you know, I enjoy my reading and reading different things, and a lot of you have asked me to share my favorite books of 2022. And I've got my top 5 fiction and my top 5 nonfiction. And of my fiction books, number 5 is The Beekeeper of Aleppo by, yes, Christy Leftari. And the reason I really enjoyed this book was because it really had me realize and kind of go back to my gratitude and being able to reflect on all the blessings that we have. Essentially, a quick summary without giving away the book, because I think you definitely should read it, is it's an immigrant story. It's an immigrant story of refugees leaving Aleppo, Syria, which frankly is a place I, as a teenager, wished to travel to. I heard that Syria is a beautiful, beautiful place. Never have had the opportunity to travel there, but The Beekeeper of Aleppo is essentially based around these refugees who have to flee Aleppo, Syria. And the narrator is the voice of Nuri, and Nuri is essentially a beekeeper. And it's a refugee journey, and they essentially travel to all of these different places that some I've traveled to, like Turkey and Greece, but other places I wish to travel to. So it really takes you down this beautiful journey of the different places that Nuri travels to with his group. And I don't want to give too much away as I'm mentioning, but it really shows you what the immigrant refugee journey is. And it made me look at refugees in a different light, and knowing that they have to essentially give up everything that they've created in their home of Syria and have to essentially adapt and change in order to survive. And it really made me reflect on how blessed we are to live in a country with our freedoms and our luxuries. I think we too often take these things for granted. This book did remind me a little bit of The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini, which was another one of my favorites, just because, again, it transported me to Afghanistan and really made me realize some of the horrible things that we somehow shut out of our brain. Another great book, but right now we're talking about The Beekeeper of Aleppo, which was something that I truly recommend you read, especially if you are into great character development, which I feel that the author did a fabulous job with, and just the attention to detail and the buildup of the characters. I loved it. I thought it was a great book. I run a real estate company, but I like to read my fiction books because they kind of help me escape. And sometimes the escape is just to be grateful and realize the blessings that we have and the small little things that we so take for granted. And The Beekeeper of Aleppo did that. In fact, I started reading it and could not put the book down. It is a very repetitive, but it's good repetitive. It's where it really does hit home the fact that we take, refugees and what they're going through very lightly, because I don't think that we have the experience of being able to actually relate to what they're going through. So the author does a fabulous job with that. And also, it really shows you how these immigrants and refugees don't create their plight. Like, they don't ask for this to happen to them. Their life essentially, you know, gets upside down, and they end up having to deal with it. And most of the time, they have to give up their past and start a whole new life. And whether they have studied to be doctors or you know, engineers, or whatever they've done in their home country, they give up all of that education. They give up all the luxuries that they've amassed, and they end up having to start all over again. And yes, you know, sometimes I hear people get upset about refugees coming into their country. And it really, reading a book like this really reminds you that, you know, if you are someone who cares about humanity and cares about fairness, and then you understand that we are very blessed, and we need to share those blessings. So, and it's ironic, I was reading this book and a friend of mine recommended watching Transplant to me. And Transplant, if you haven't watched it, is a Canadian drama, and it's about a Syrian doctor. And I highly, highly recommend watching that as well. So that's it for now. I hope that you will consider this book, and I've linked it below on Amazon, and or support your small local bookshop and buy it from them. And I hope you enjoy, and I'd love to hear your comments. Keep an eye out for number 4. Talk to you later. Be sure to like and subscribe. If you like this type of video, I would love your support. Thank you. Bye for now.